going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 21 of Big Hoof Energy. I'm your host, Ryan. And as usual, I get to be joined by my co-hosts, Jackson Muniz, Kaylie Shapiro. Kaylie, I'll start with you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
I'm doing all right. A little warm down here, but Jackson, how are you?
You know, something crazy happened today. It was a complete miracle. The Angels have won 7 straight games. This will never happen again in the next 20 years, so I'm going to take it in while I can. We swept the Dodgers. Now we just swept the A's. Life is good, man. Life is good.
There you go. It's a baseball reference on a horse racing show, but that's okay. Proud of you, buddy. I got to head up to LA this weekend for Memorial Day weekend, so I'm not the biggest fan of the Hollywood area, but it'll be a good time. So, I have no idea what the weather's going to be. It's probably going to be just outrageously hot, but it's Memorial Day weekend. Jackson, I don't know if you're going to have the time to make it out to Santa Anita on Memorial Day, but what are your plans looking like?
It's my mom's 50th birthday, so I will not be heading out to the track this Memorial Day. Have other priorities that we have to take care of.
Yeah, that's going to go ahead and outrank. That's going to go ahead and outrank the track. I will 100% agree with that. Yeah, that's very reasonable. I'm a maybe. I'm a like post time or game time decision if I'm going to make it out to Santa Anita. So we'll see. But we are going to be covering the 3 graded stakes at Santa Anita that are going to go down on Memorial Day, as well as the winning color stakes from Churchill Downs. It's going to take place on Memorial Day. That features the return of Too Sharp and Bright Work. And then we are also going to cover Saturday's stakes at Belmont at Aqueduct, which is the Paradise Creek. And of course, we're live on ABR, where the 3 of us and Noah Maher will also be on this Saturday as Naira Betts presents the Saturday show. So I'm excited to do that. Kaylie, it'll be your first time joining us for the full event. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I discovered through the Derby season that I really do like live reactions and, that type of content and watching the races in real time. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. We'll be live streaming Monmouth Racetrack as well as Belmont at Aqueduct and then possibly Santa Anita. We'll see how that goes as we go along. But be sure to tune in. We'll be having a good time. That much is guaranteed. So, all right, we're covering 5 races today. Jackson, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts as you went through each sequence?
No, they're good.
Each race.
Yeah, good stakes races. Look, always fun when we get some of the best horses in the country to run. We have a number of them running on Monday. We got 3 grade ones out at Santa Anita, and I think it was the Churchill race. A couple comebackers that I've kind of been waiting for that are making their first start of the year, facing a couple of horses that are in good form. So that should be a good race as well. And then even the Aqueduct race, there was a horse I really like. So I liked all 5 of the races we're going to look at.
Me too. Kaylie, what were your thoughts as you were looking at the sequence?
Yeah, Santa Anita is always a little bit of a challenge for me, to be honest. I mean, I've been practicing getting a bit better with it, but luckily a lot of these names were pretty familiar. So that definitely helped me out a bit. And certainly, I mean, I'm so excited for Bright Work to come back. I saw that name and got me really excited. I love that horse. So winning colors grew up to be a really competitive race, and same with the race at Belmont at the Big A as well. So really excited.
Kind of the last, the only really big day in between the Preakness and the Belmont, because we know how loaded that Belmont card is going to be. It's going to be insane. But this weekend is going to be pretty good too.
Oh yeah, all the runners. Yeah, the Belmont card is going to be fantastic. The Met Mile is going to be a race to behold from all the looks of the probables and everything. So obviously still about a week and a half ish away from that. If I'm doing my math, 2 weeks. Yeah, thank you. 2 weeks. 2 weeks out. 2 weeks in a couple days. But all right, let's get on into the Paradise Creek Stakes at Belmont at the Big A for this weekend. Picks are up. I went 7-5-8. Jackson went 4-5-8. Kaylie went 5-9-4 for this race. It's for 3-year-olds only. They're on the outer turf going 6 furlongs. Kaylie, I know it's been pretty rainy out there, but I would imagine this race is going to stay on the turf because I think it's supposed to kind of clear up for Saturday.
Yeah, not 100% sure. I mean, we definitely got a lot of rain. Not like a lot of rain, but it's been raining pretty consistently is the thing. But I think that we should have a sunny day in the forecast before Saturday hits, so hopefully that helps us out. But yeah, I mean, still going to be a great race regardless. I'm sure hopefully we'll stay on, but definitely really competitive race. I went with the number 5 here, Clock Tower. I think that this horse has really been screaming for this distance, as you can kind of tell, in all of his turf efforts going longer as well. I viewed this one. I mean, this one has a lot of speed, but also has the ability to pass horses. Good price on the morning line. Wesley Ward has been winning 100% of the races so far at this meet at Belmont at the Big A, which is pretty nuts. So, got to take that pretty seriously. So, yeah, I'm going to take a shot with this one here.
Yeah, I wasn't far off of you as I picked this horse in second. So did Jackson. Wesley Ward, you mentioned it, 4 for 4 to start the meet. So obviously 100% hit rate, but also just the recent running lines. Lost to Tescore and Scipio in his last race, lost to Citizen Bull, Rodriguez, and Madaket Road on the dirt 2-back in the Robert B. Lewis. Obviously, dirt wasn't his calling, but that Derby fever is pretty contagious. Jackson, I'll throw it out to you. You picked the 5 Clock Tower in second. Anything to add?
No, I think he's pretty good too. I'm a little curious to see how he handles the cutback. I don't necessarily know what he's going to be best at. I really liked him last week in the Pimlico race where he scratched out of. This is a totally different game. He's been running, much softer paces, going longer, getting easy-ish leads. But the last race especially makes you think the cutback could do him some good. And he might be the speed of the speed in this race. So definitely one that's going to be dangerous if he can get left alone on the front end.
Yeah, something tells me that he was scratched out of the stake scratch out of there just because of the going of the turf course that weekend. He gives the vibe that he might like a bit of a firmer ground. So maybe that's a reason to play against if they've gotten some steady rain. But Aqueduct dries out pretty quick, so if it's sunny, we might be looking at good, maybe even firm. Actually, Jackson, I'll keep it with you. The number 4 Assertiveness for Todd Pletcher and Johnny V horse you have on top.
Yeah, I like this horse quite a bit, to be honest. I like the price a lot too in this race where I don't know, it was pretty wide open as the more line would indicate. Like these horses are all kind of the same in my eye, and this one is cutting back for the first time, and I think it's probably going to be best for him. Just looking at his race at Gulfstream, he went from the 12 post, going the lead. Was lucky to hang on against Dublin's Night, but that horse came back and just romped at Keeneland. So that was a good foe he held off that day. And then last time he pressed the pace, going a mile at Keeneland. That was a race that kind of came apart at the end. 2 horses that hit the exacta came from, I think, last and second to last. They were way back there. I know that we were there that day. And just that race, again, screamed to me like he needs a little bit of a turn back. So I think this is what he probably wants to do. Class test for sure, but I think his numbers put him right there, and he's supposed to get a pretty good trip, just tucked in not too far from the pace setters, I would think.
Yeah, they wanted to get this horse on turf to debut, but clearly that didn't work out, so they ran him just to kind of get a start. But his 2 starts on turf as a 3-year-old have been pretty strong. Pletcher, oddly enough, not the strongest numbers turning back on turf routes to turf sprints, but this is certainly one that fits on the figures. I ended up on the number 7 Supersonic Blue. Jackson, I think we and Noah talked about this one on Pacific Horse Players the other day. Neil Drysdale has a shipper going out to New York. Last ran in the down the hill sheer stakes at Santa Anita with Edwin Maldonado aboard. Today you get Flavien Prat. I mean, I expect this one to be up front, but I know Pratt's not going to keep this horse necessarily one-dimensional. He'll send this horse out, but somebody wants to press. I know Pratt's going to just kind of sit right off, and he'll be happy with that kind of tracking trip. So I thought the number 7 Supersonic Blue had a good shot in here. I noticed both of you don't have him in your top 3. What were your reasons to play against? Jackson or Kaylie, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, actually, when I was looking at the race, I thought this was the horse that was most likely to put the pressure on Clock Tower. I saw Clock Tower as the speed of the speed, but I mean, this horse is probably going to sit right off of him. Obviously, gets Flavien aboard. I mean, I honestly, coming from Santa Anita, obviously I'm going to take this horse pretty seriously based on the figures, but in terms of this group, I just saw him sort of similarly as the rest of the horses in here. And I think Clock Tower has a pretty good shot at taking them gate to wire, even if this horse is sitting right off of him. He is coming in from Santa Anita, obviously making a trip out here, something that I always keep in mind. I prefer Clock Tower to him was really my reasoning here, but obviously Flavien aboard is a bit scary.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll keep it with you, Kaylie, is the number 8, or sorry, I'll throw it back to Jackson. No, I'm going to keep it with Kaylie. As we'll talk about the morning line favorite, the number 9 Pivotal Moment. This is the horse you have in second, Kaylie. It's your morning line favorite at 2-1. Irad Ortiz for Christophe Clement. What's your case on this one?
You always have to take Clement very seriously in these spots. I know this horse is the morning line favorite, so you're going to try to play against him. But I think that this horse, certainly will be on any of my tickets, even though I have him in second. Just trying to, get a better price. But this horse is certainly the horse to beat from a buyer speed figure perspective. I know hasn't faced winners yet, but ran a better figure just in his second start than most of these other horses in here, at least their recent form. Gets Irad aboard for the first time. Definitely caught my eye. And this one should be able to track right off the pace as well. So should be able to sit a nice trip, and Irad can play the break as well. So I think this one should be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, Pivotal Moment certainly looks like the horse to beat off that last effort. Jackson, I don't know if you remember this race at Gulfstream Park, but made an absolutely wicked move coming around the turn and just, opened up by 4, and that was all she wrote. You left this one out of your top 3, as did I. Were you thinking maybe the Lasix was the cause of the improvement, or I thought maybe the blinkers stepped this one up, but I was just trying to beat this horse first time against Stakes Company?
For me, it was just the price. He's 2-1 in here. I think this race is more open than that. And just with, he's got Irad, he's got Clement. He'll probably will be that price in this race. And that was one of the rare turf sprints you'll see at Gulfstream that just was totally dominated by closers. There was, I think the horse from second came from dead last, horse from third came from 5th or 6th, and then 8 horse field. He was way out of it too. Doesn't happen too often that they go that blazing quick at Gulfstream. But to his credit, he won that race by 4. It wasn't like it was a blanket finish. So he I can't blame anyone that's taken him. For me, he was just a little too short in this spot.
Yeah, but I agree. That's kind of why I left him off of mine. But Christophe Clement, taking his time with these runners, could just be rounding into really good form. Blinkers seem to maybe just have this horse focused up. Maybe this horse just grew up after having the summer and fall off and then debuting at Gulfstream. So one I'm a little scared of, but one I think I'm going to try and beat. But Jackson, we'll keep it with you as we go to the number 8 Warheart, 6-1. I believe I also have this one in third. I do. What did you like about this runner, second off the bench for Rudy Brissett?
Yeah, it just seems like one that might also get the jump on the deeper closers, like Pivotal Moment in this spot. Probably will just track right off. If Pratt goes, he might be the one that gets a really good trip, just tucked in right behind him. No real excuse last time. I thought he got a pretty good trip overall over at Churchill Downs in that race. It was his first start in a few months. Maybe he just needed the tightener and bring him back up to Aqueduct pretty quickly. So he must be doing okay. And he's got races as a 2-year-old that fit pretty well in here. He got an 87 buyer at this track, and that came in November, and that was better than what Pivotal Moment ran last time. And he's 6-1. He's much better price. Probably more underneath for me, but he is a contender, I think. Yeah,
I agree. Another one that I was going to kind of use in the underneath area. Kaylie, we didn't get to hear your thoughts on the number 4 Assertiveness. Did you have anything to add on this runner?
Yeah, I definitely agreed with what Jackson said, the reasoning for picking him on top. Another lightly raced horse that I think, cutting back in distance should actually suit him, has really good speed to get into the mix early, and is, double the price as Clock Tower in here, and also has run pretty competitive figures. Last time out, facing winners for the first time, you can kind of forgive that, and is going to cut back in distance as well. That was over softer turf, so hopefully if we get firm turf, it'll move this horse up a little bit. But yeah, I thought 8-1 on the morning line was a pretty good price on this one. Certainly want to include him, my exotics.
I thought so too. I think, if you get 8-1 on this runner, you certainly have to include him in your tickets just based on the value that's going to represent or present rather. All right, that's the Paradise Creek Stakes. I went 7-5-8. Jackson went 4-5-8. Kaylie went 5-9-4. We'll go now to the Winning Colors Stakes at Churchill Downs. First, we'll say what's up to Noah. He's eating a Chick-fil-A meal. I don't know why he wanted to share that with us, but thank you for sharing nonetheless. The Winning Colors Stakes, the race is up on the screen. We're going 6 furlongs for 4-year-old fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. Excuse me. From the rail is Bright Work, Kaylie's top pick, as she goes 1-7-9. Jackson went 2-1-7. And I went 7-1-9. This is going on Memorial Day. Jackson, we got to start with you with the number 2 Into Champagne for Ian Wilkes and Julian Leparoux.
Yeah, just checking right now. It looks like earlier this week it said it was supposed to rain this weekend, Churchill, but it seems to have gone away. So hopefully it stays dry this weekend. A bit of a price pick here. I'm expecting her to be at least 8-1, probably off of that last effort. Hoping there's a lot of speed in here, and it looks like there could be. You know, you got Too Sharp coming off the bench. She'll probably be heading to the lead like she usually does. Hope Road is obviously very quick, as is Miss Arlington. So kind of hoping those 3 just really speed this thing up for against this group. And maybe it sets up for a horse coming from off the pace, like Into Champagne, where I just didn't like the ride last time in that spot. As another race where you and I were there, Ryan, and just was never in a good spot. She kind of decided to sit, and then they rushed up kind of early, which went a little too soon. It was in between horses and just never really looked comfortable. She's obviously better than that. She's got plenty of races that are much better than that. It's going to be her 3rd start off the bench. And again, I think she might get the right kind of setup in here, hoping she goes back to those trips that she showed earlier in her career where she kind of sat mid-pack, and maybe she can come running late at a price. And I don't think the mud necessarily hurts her chances either. Or I guess there won't be any mud. Never mind. Scrap that last point.
All right. If there was mud, I don't think it hurts the chances, but you mentioned it. This runner certainly has some dirtied up form. So she could get things back on track here, 3rd start of the form cycle. I like that pick. You're certainly going to get a price. You notice we don't have post positions or morning line odds yet. That's because we're still a few days away. We have to go to the rail with Bright Work, the 4-year-old debut for John Ortiz trained Bright Work with Johnny Ortiz in the saddle. Kaylie, take it away on a horse that I was expecting you to pick on top because I know how much you love this filly.
Yeah, she looks tremendous. I actually saw her in person a couple months ago when I was in Kentucky, seeing Quiet Side. She's been training, immaculate. So I'm really excited for this one's return. She showed a ton of talent, obviously, before going back on the bench. And I know she drew the 1 hole, but I really have no concern for that. She has really good speed to get out and get into a good position early. And one thing about John Ortiz, this filly would not be in this race if it wasn't, a perfect spot for her. And if she didn't have a good shot to win, he's really not the type to put horses like in graded stakes off of layoffs if they don't fit. This one has been working tremendously. And I think that she's going to come back maybe similar to that 2-back effort that we saw. Granted, I know it's off a layoff, but with the way she's been working and the way she looks, I'm really excited for her return. And I think that she should sit a nice trip, and I'm going to take a shot with her on top. And she's probably going to be 2nd choice. So that definitely, or 2nd or 3rd. So that definitely encouraged me to put her on top as well.
Yeah, I like it. You mentioned a bunch of great points in there. She breaks really sharp out of the gate, so the post position isn't too much of a concern for me either, especially considering Into Champagne doesn't have a lot of early speed. She should be fine getting out of there, should be able to just kind of sit maybe in that 2nd flight. And you mentioned she's coming off a layoff, but that's where she's done some of her best running last August at Saratoga. Obviously, that wasn't the planned start, as she had the kind of paddock incident, so they had to scratch her out of the first stakes race, which the name is leaving me. But came back in the prior S, ran really well, fired off the layoff at Ellis Park in the debutante, and then, of course, won first time out as a 2-year-old at Keeneland. So all of her – from the 1 hole as well, which is incredibly tough to do for those 2-year-old first-time starters. So, no, she's fired really well off the layoff, so I want to give her certainly a strong look in here. My top pick, I ended up going with the number 7, Hope Road. Kind of expected her to bounce maybe a little bit last time out, but she fired huge at Churchill Downs on was this Derby Day? This was Derby Day. Yes. And ran a really nice second behind Copian, who's the leader of the filly and mare sprint division by open lengths, as her last win would indicate, as she's just paired up astronomical buyers. So Hope Road, I thought coming in here, Florent Giroux is in the saddle, as Juan Hernandez is going to stick out west with the graded stakes going on out there. But either way, I think she kind of just makes her own trip in here. There wasn't a whole lot of speed to her outside except for Too Sharp, but I think Hope Road can kind of sit maybe a little bit off of it. So if Florent sends her to the lead, I think that's all right. I think Too Sharp maybe could need one, but that's certainly one that we're going to talk about here in just a bit. Jackson, do you have anything to add? And then Kaylie, I'll go back out to you on the I would assume morning line favorite, Hope Road.
Yeah, she'll be the favorite in here. No, not much to add. She's obviously her best effort is very, very good. It would make her awfully tough to beat against this bunch. But I don't know if I really want to take a super short price. I mean, she could be odds on in here pretty easily just based on those last two efforts. So that's the only real knock. She's got a good post here. She can sit off the 9 and the 6 if they both really want to go. So she's very obvious favorite, just maybe a little too short for my liking.
Yeah. Well, Jackson, did you have anything to add on Hope Road? Or sorry, Kaylie, did you have anything to add on Hope Road? I'm losing it. It is like 110 degrees in this room I'm in right now.
I literally love this filly. Like, not to talk too highly, but I really think that she looked tremendous in her last two starts. And I think that she's going to get obviously she's getting a bit of class relief here. So I think she's going to be very dangerous. She's shown the ability to come from off the pace. She's won in gate to wire fashion. She's pretty versatile runner. And I think that she's in obviously the best form that she's been in lately, and certainly coming out of some key races, finishing second to Copian twice. But yeah, Billy has really been looking very good lately, and she's one that I will not be leaving off any tickets.
Same here. We can't move on from this race without talking about the number 9, Too Sharp for Phil Bauer, Junior Alvarado in the saddle. Kaylie, I'll stick with you. What do you expect to see as this filly comes off the bench to start her 4-year-old season at Churchill Downs?
Side, so you know that she is gonna have, she kind of won the post position draw here, but yeah, I think that she's gonna be really dangerous just because of her speed. Gonna get her into a good position, and obviously that last win. I mean, obviously she's coming off a layoff, but like I said, she's going to be pretty sharp, and, she's going 6 furlongs, so shouldn't be too much of a issue for her off a layoff. But yeah, she's not one that I'm going to try to play against her here, but I do have her in third.
Yeah, I have her in third as well. I just wanted to, certainly a filly I respect coming off the bench. Jackson does not have this one in his top 3. Why are you trying to beat Too Sharp on Monday, Jackson?
It's just kind of similar to the last race, where I feel like if a speed horse is going to win this race, it's got to be Hope Road. I would think, and even if Hope Road just sits a length or two off of Too Sharp, I would kind of put her in the same boat as the speed group.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I will say this is looking like Bright Work is probably going to sit a really, really nice trip, especially if Too Sharp is really aggressive out of there, and then Into Champagne's going to be closing late. If this race was 6.5, I think I'd like Into Champagne a little bit more, Jackson, just because that extra half a furlong can really go on for what would seem like an eternity. Not as long as the Pimlico stretch. For anybody that was watching last week at Preakness, that stretch felt like it was 2 miles long. That thing never came to an end, but. That's the winning colors.
You helped journalism get home, so
it did. No, we obviously I liked it there too, but insane how long it took them to get there. But winning color stakes, I went 719, Jackson went 217, and Kaylie went 179. We'll go now to Santa Anita for Memorial Day for their card, and we're going to start with the first of 2 grade 1s and 3 graded stakes, the Gamely Stakes. We're going 1 mile and an eighth on the turf course for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward. Again, it's a grade 1. No post positions or morning lines yet, so we're just going to have to do our best. But I went 815, Jackson went 458, and Kaylie went 952. So we're going to start with the number 9. Oh, number 9. Here we
morning
go.
Lines
Be your best. Thank you.
I do have
what?
Them. The morning lines.
Oh, you do have them.
They're just not posted on DRF yet, so I do have them.
All right, what do we got for the number 9?
Where's My Ring is 10-1.
Where's My Ring? 10-1. Kaylie, your top pick, unless that was supposed to be the 8?
No. Yeah, I think yeah, I mean, I have Be Your Best on tops.
Okay.
That's
what I assumed.
Wrong number.
Probably running here. She's probably going to run on Sunday,
Yeah.
From what I
understand. Yeah, I would imagine so. Okay, Be Your Best. Kaylie, your top pick. This one comes out of the grade 1, Jenny Wiley at Keeneland. Why did you like this runner here?
Yeah, I think this one is probably going to be pretty likely to control things up on the front end, it's looking like, or at least how I saw the race. I mean, this horse is, the speed of the group, and I think can control things. And we saw her reach a peak. 2 back at the Pegasus, obviously, off 2 really good starts prior to that. She improved a ton. It was a 5-year-old now as well, and she loves firmer turf. So hopefully getting out to Santa Anita also helps her out as well. And, she has her early Santa Anita efforts were when she really didn't, reach her peak yet. So that's why I'm thinking, coming back here in peak form, firm turf, she's going to be pretty dangerous. And like I said, I think I pretty much saw it like she's going to control things up on the front end and pretty likely to take them gate to wire, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's certainly a big threat. I don't know where our picks just went, but I'll throw them back up. 852 for Kaylie. I also picked Be Your Best on top, which, it takes me a lot to pick a horse trained by Safi Joseph, shipped out to the West Coast to pick this one on top. But I saw it's very similar to you. There's not a whole lot of speed in this race. I think Be Your Best is just going to control up front if she gets loose on the lead. And if somebody else sends, I think she has the ability to just kind of sit right off, and it's going to be tough to see another horse go get her. Jackson, you had this one in third. Clearly, you think a little bit differently, as your top pick was the number 4 Public Assembly for Phil D'Amato.
Yeah, which as far as Be Your Best goes, like to me, she's kind of a 1-number horse still to this point, and it came on Pegasus Day when that turf course just got so speedy that day. I mean, no one was closing at all, and she hasn't really been able to duplicate that. To be fair, the Jenny Wiley was just a way tougher race. She didn't get the right trip in there, so she could absolutely bounce back in this spot. But she's a little too short for me to pick on top, so I'm going to try to beat her. I'm going to use Public Assembly, who is probably the horse that's going to sit closest. I would have to think. Kaylie kind of mentioned that there's really no speed in this race at all. So I think of all the horses left, Public Assembly probably just sits the pocket in this race as she did last time when she sat right behind a very hot pace. I mean, talk about a race that got flipped upside down. That they was just dominated by closers. The horse that finished second, Son of Hill, who we had that day, was like 15 lengths back, turning for home and finished second. And it just kind of goes to show how badly that race collapsed. And she was right there the whole time. So I do want to upgrade that last race. She should probably keep moving forward for Phil D'Amato. That's kind of what this barn does. I mean, I just think she might trip out in here. Is she this good? I don't know, but I'm willing to find out because she's 8-1 in the morning line, and I think she might be on the improve.
Yeah, I like it. Public Assembly was one I gave a strong look to. But honestly, the more I looked at this field, I ended up just having her in fourth, and I could do no better than that. This guy, Public Assembly's win last time, I would disagree. That was the raw ability race. And Jackson, you did give out Son of Hill at a massive price, finishing in second. Public Assembly was about 8-1 that day. So you had the exacta, right?
No. But you bring up a good point, though. I mean, raw ability and Tirapati are both really good horses that pretty much got the same trip, and they were just empty when they turned for home. And they went fast that day. And she hung around.
Yeah, they absolutely flew. That's the number 5. I'll go down to the rail for Lady Claypool for Richard Baltus, who's been off to a bit of a slow meet. But I do like that he brings this mare back off of about 2 months or so off of a career best effort. Won really nicely last time out with Pereira aboard. Gets a nice draw this time, going the 1 1/8. It is a step up to probably her toughest task yet, but judging by the way that she won that last race against Mrs. Astor, who came back to win her next out race, and Mrs. Astor is a good horse trained by Jonathan Thomas. Again, Richard Baltus off to a bit of a cold start to the meet, but his horses are firing. He's got 11 horses in the money from the 17 starters, so he's due for a win. Pereira is, he rides the dirt and the turf great out west, and I think he's an underrated turf rider when it comes down to it. So I think he can give this horse a really nice ride, and maybe the best is yet to come for this one, and I think we're going to get a price. Jackson, do you have the morning line on Lady Claypool as well as Public Assembly?
Yeah, Claypool is 10-1 and Public Assembly is 8-1. And Be Your Best is 4-1. I don't think I said that.
There we go. I like that. We'll go out to the number 5, No Show Sammy Joe. Kaylie, you have this horse in second. So does Jackson. I have this one in third. So a common interest among the three of us, but I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys saw similarly. I mean, this horse just fits in really well with this group in terms of the class perspective and speed figure perspective. I think, this one was in pretty good form prior to coming off a layoff in a grade 1 last time out and still ran back. I mean, I think a career best in that race. So definitely caught my eye. That was over turf with a little give as well. So firmer turf, this one should, improve off of that. Also second off the bench. Flavian Pratt aboard. This one is also one that I don't think is going to need any sort of fast pace, is able to, run pretty competitively without. So definitely stuck out to me. And the last one came at the same distance as well. So certainly her game. So I put her second.
I like it. Prada board certainly helps, as two of her better efforts have come with Prada board, resulting in a win and a second place finish in the grade 3 Long Island out in your neck of the woods. Yeah, one I certainly like. Jackson, what were your points on the number 5 no show Sammy Joe?
Yeah, had to have her somewhere. We got into the paddock for the Jenny Wiley through my friend Will Humphrey, who works for the Motion Barn, and I know they were really excited about her running in that race, and she really did get a good trip, and she didn't handle the ground at all, is what they kind of came back and said right away. And I kind of threw out the idea jokingly to Will, oh, yeah, I should take her to California, and here she is. They know they're going to get the firm ground out here. And to Kaylie's point, she's probably supposed to be pretty close to the slow pace too. So won't be surprised at all if she takes another step forward. She'll be tough in here. She is the 7-2 morning line favorite. I could see her going quite a bit lower than that, to be honest.
I could too, especially with Flavia Prada board.
Yeah.
Next horse we'll talk about is going to be the number 2. As I go back to you, Kaylie, Alphabella for John Sadler. Very consistent, hard-trying horse for both of the barns that she's been in to this point. What did you like about this runner going out to 1 mile and 1/8 now on turf?
Yeah, stretching back out to 1 mile and 1/8 on the turf with John Sadler. If you look back to when this horse was in the Todd Pletcher barn, definitely has some pretty good efforts, routing longer on the turf. So I thought this one could be pretty dangerous, and seeing now that she's cross-entered. So I guess we'll see where she goes. But if she does go here, I mean, with the race with not a lot of speed, I saw her as one of the ones that should be forwardly placed and should be able to hold position. Certainly when you look at all of her efforts going longer as well, she was pretty forwardly placed or took them gate to wire in a lot of those. I don't think that's going to happen here, but certainly has the speed to be in a good position. And she's run against some pretty tough company like Hope Road. I think like maybe 3 back or 4 back. She ran against Hope Road, who we just talked about, obviously, who ran, running against Copian. I know, granted on the dirt, but just speaking from a quality perspective, she's been facing some pretty tough horses, and you have no doubt that she's going to be able to handle the distance when you look at her form in Todd Pletcher's barn as well.
Without a doubt, this is a very hard trying, very consistent horse. So I'm curious where she goes as well, because obviously they feel comfortable dirt or turf with this runner, and clearly she can hold her own in the graded stakes company. 2 and 3 back, lost to Cavalieri, who's a really strong runner out of the Baffert barn, and then of course Hope Road, as you mentioned, who she lost to 4 back in the BAQ. Noah, just Excellent Truth won the Jenny Riley. No, Excellent Truth finished second. Choicey, I had that spot, so we don't need to talk about that because we were right on that. But anyway, that is the number 2, Alphabella. I think we talked about all the runners in the race now. That is the grade 1 Gamely Stakes going on Monday, going 1 mile and 1/8 on the turf. I went 8-1-5. Jackson went 4-5-8. Kaylie went 8-5-2. We'll move on now to race number 8. It's the 1 1/4 Gold Cup. This was a head scratcher of a race. I don't think we had no Bafferts come in. Normally we see the national treasures of the Baffert camp come in here, but it's a Baffert free grade 2 on dirt, so not every day you see that. My picks are up. I went 4-3-5. Jackson went 5-3-1. Kaylie went 4-5-1. So Jackson, we got to start with you as the one holding out on the number 5 Skippy Longstocking. What did you like about this runner?
It just feels like he's supposed to win this race. This is kind of the groups that he drives against, not the grade 1s with the better grade 2s, but the lower level stake races. And he seems to have found his friends in this race. And I actually really liked his first 2 efforts this year. I thought both of them were pretty good. And then last time he just didn't get the right ride in that Oaklawn race. He dueled on the lead with I think it was like a 95-1 shot. I mean, just a hopeless long shot. He was going head to head with him a long time, just basically set it up perfectly for first mission. And he ran okay in that race, understandably faded after that, finishing behind first mission. Vanishing's obviously a very good horse too. There's no one like that in this race. And there's not a whole lot of speed to his inside. So he's supposed to get that outside stalking trip that is probably his best trip. And, if he runs his race, he's going to win. He's going to win this. He's just faster than him. The biggest question I have is the 1 1/4, because he hasn't run that great going this route of ground yet. But this is also, again, this is just a race on paper that he's better than these horses. So I'm going to try not to worry about that too much and hope he can get the job done at a very short price.
You asked the question you answered the question I was going to ask you, and that was the distance.
Yeah.
Going longer than a mile and an eighth. He has only hit the board once, I believe. Going a mile and a 16th a couple times, going the mile and a quarter. He tried the Belmont Stakes in his 3-year-old season. But yeah, I mean, he does stack up well against this field in terms of, his ability. He reminds me a lot of First Mission, to be honest. Both of them are kind of like the grade 3, grade 2 horses that you feel like could be grade 1. But then they get there and they're just overmatched a little bit. So this is kind of his stomping ground. He's a horse I'm going to kind of key in all my trifectas because he's certainly good enough to be there. But Kaylie, you and I had similar opinions with the horse we like on top. Up and comer for the McCarthy barn, trying stakes competition for the first time. I'll let you take it away with Extensive.
Yeah, another one that it's a bit of a question mark with the distance, obviously stretching out pretty, for the first time, lightly raced horse, but I mean, certainly the 99 last time out catches your eye, especially that this one came from off the pace. I mean, that figure stacks up very nicely with your main players in here. Better figure than Skippy ran last time out. So I viewed it as an opportunity to try to play against him. I did see, the possibility of Skippy taking them gate to wire here. Just looking from a pace perspective. But I did think like the number 3 Midnight Mammoth, who granted I don't think has a big shot, but could potentially pressure Skippy Longstocking. So I'm going to take a shot with the number 4. Obviously lightly raced, Prada board, 99 last time out, can come from off the pace. Mike McCarthy. Dam side is a little sprinty. But I mean, there's a reason why they're placing this horse in here, and with not a lot of speed in the race besides the number 5, I think this one has a pretty good shot at sitting, right off of those and hopefully, get the distance. But one I wanted to take a shot with.
Yeah, I share your thoughts right there because I thought this one took a huge step up last time. Jackson, I'm kind of surprised that you didn't have this one in, given that he had just paired up those buyer tops like you love to see, took a massive step forward and a big improvement. Now gets to try stakes competition versus a pretty salty group of opponents in here. So doesn't meet any world beaters. Again, Skippy Longstocking should win this race, but I think he is beatable because he kind of has a knack for finishing second and third as much as he likes to win. So, I think Extensive, the McCarthy barn has been red hot all across the country, obviously featuring the Preakness winner, but had winners, Derby Day with Look Forward and many others. So I think Michael McCarthy, Frolby and Pratt are teaming up on the winner here. Jackson, any reason you didn't want to leave this one off? And then also could you, or didn't want to include this one? And then also could you tell me the morning line for Extensive and Skippy Longstocking when you get a chance, please?
Skippy's even money. Extensive is 3-1 second choice, which that is awfully low on this horse, I think.
That is lower than I thought it would be.
He's being absolutely nothing. I mean, there was just nothing in that allowance race that Santa Anita brazenly is like. He's a caliber that's like 2 for 30 with a bunch of seconds and third. It just wasn't a great field. And now he's facing much better horses. I much prefer the other shorter prices to his inside rather than Extensive, who, it's McCarthy, it's Pratt. He's just going to take a ton of money just based on that.
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, if I knew that prior, probably wouldn't be trying to beat the favorite here for a little 3-1. But I think that, Skippy's probably better value if you're looking at, those two prices. But still, if anyone's going to get an improvement and get distance out of the horse, I'm glad Pratt's aboard. So, hopefully it runs well.
Yeah, I didn't think 3-1 was going to be the morning line. That was a little lower than I was hoping for, but I guess it kind of speaks to there's not a whole lot of other world beaters in here. Jackson, you and I got to talk about the 3. This is Midnight Mammoth, a horse that, maybe on face value, you would say doesn't have much of a shot, but this is the horse that, Armando Ayuso is going to send this horse out to the lead. If Skippy Longstocking lets him get an open length lead and go around there, good luck catching him because he can get brave on the front end. You picked this one in second. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, to me, he's kind of the very clear second choice. Like if the favorite doesn't run, I think it's clearly this horse that's going to take advantage. Who finally riding back into form after a couple just bizarre efforts to start 2025. But like you said, on his best effort, he's got plenty of numbers that are going to make him very competitive in this race. I don't think he's going to get the lead in here. I think Tarantino's quicker, and from the rails, he's just going to completely send he's probably supposed to get a pretty nice just stalking trip just off of that one. And I don't know if they're necessarily going to fly in this race. And you have zero doubts about this horse getting the mile and a quarter. I mean, he's best races come. The further the better for this horse. So I like him in this spot. I don't think he's good enough to beat Skippy, but I'll have, if extensive is really 3-1, I'll have plenty of 5-3 straights on my ticket. Probably just 5-3 straights on my tickets.
What's the morning line on Midnight Mammoth?
He's 5-1, fourth choice.
That's not bad. I mean, you mentioned it. The longer the better for this one. 3 back, ran behind Hit Show, who went overseas and won the Saudi Cup, and even ran behind Locked, who got to run miles behind Fierceness as he debuted and ran off the screen at Churchill. So, no, certainly has kept some good company along with the Old Man Express train. But I'm with you. I think Midnight Mammoth's rounding back into form. Started off the season at Turf Paradise, where all the stakes winners start off, and now going to my. That was such a weird. We texted in our group chat like, "Hey, we have Midnight Mammoth in a 6 furlong race at Turf Paradise right now. What's going on?"
I look at Turf Paradise like twice a year, and that just happened to be one of the days. What the heck is this guy doing in this race? It was just so weird, and he didn't run at all. He was awful.
He didn't run well. He wasn't even the favorite in there, which, I mean, that was coming off of a grade 3 Cougar win, going 1.5 miles, and he came back and he wasn't even the favorite at Turf. That was bizarre. But that's racing for you. But anyway, to get back on track, I'm with you. The longer, the better for him. I like the 5-3 exacta in there if you were to play it. We'll go down to the rail horse, the number 1 Tarantino. I like his movies. I just didn't like his chances in here. Kaylie, I'll go to you. You pick this runner in third, and then Jackson, take it after.
What's the price on this one? 4-1. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty decent price on this horse, in my opinion. If you toss that last effort, I mean, I think that this horse could be, maybe a little shorter. I'm willing to toss the last effort, and certainly looking back on how those horses ran back, like Banishing, for example. I mean, it's not like he was facing a really tough field that day. I think he came like super wide. He never really got going. But yeah, I think all the races prior, this horse fits really well. And that they're going to send from the 1 hole, like you said. He's not a horse that, I expect to be necessarily up on the lead, but he's one that I think can hold a pretty good position, and that he can get the distance as well. So I think that he's going to be pretty dangerous, and gets Juan Hernandez aboard, I think for the first time as well. So actually no, but yeah, first time in a while. So yeah. I also like to see that. I think that this one's going to be in the mix, no matter which way you look at it.
I like it. Jackson, go ahead on your third pick.
No, nothing crazy to add. He's the third pick in a 7-horse field, so no, I'm not going to have him on top or probably use him too prominently underneath, but he definitely is a pace factor, and I think he's a better bet than the 4 at least.
I think so too. All right, Jackson, I got to ask you for I mean, okay, value-wise, yes, I would probably say that Extensive being 3-1 is much too short given what he's beaten and who he's facing here. I was not expecting him to be that short. I thought he'd be around 9-2. I thought Tarantino and Midnight Mammoth would be, lower than him. So that is what it is. Jackson, what do we do with our guy Raylu Gutierrez on the John Sadler train, packs a wallet, going over to dirt for the first time in quite a while?
I don't think he has much chance near, but it would not be the first time that a John Sadler trained and Ronis Racing owned horse comes out of absolutely nowhere to win one of these 1.25 mile races in Southern California. So he does have that going for him. If you're believing,
he's a pretty good trainer.
These good California horses. I don't know what else to say. They're good. They find handicap horses out here.
They really do. They do a good job of it. This would be the one horse that kind of worries me in the field. Tarantino, maybe. I mean, at least we know him early. Midnight Mammoth, maybe a little bit. This is the horse that I'm probably not going to have on any of my tickets, but if this horse wins, I'm probably going to be kicking myself a little bit. But yeah, I mean, last time out, going the 1.25 mile, ran a career best speed figure. So if he can transfer that over to the dirt, that kind of puts him right in the mix. But that is a big question, is he's worked like he prefers to be on the grass. But that is the go ahead, Kaylie. Do you have something?
No.
Oh. That is the Gold Cup. That is the Gold Cup. Gosger got robbed, apparently. No, he just got caught by a better horse. I don't think he got robbed. He just got caught by a better horse. That is the 1.25 mile Gold Cup. for Monday, 3-year-olds and upwards. Next, we'll go on to the Shoemaker Mile. Last race we're going to talk about one more time for the Gold Cup picks. I went 4-3-5. Jackson went 5-3-1. Kaylie went 4-5-1. Shoemaker picks are up now. For whatever reason, that's not scrolling on the bottom, so I'll fix that, and then we'll actually throw our picks up there. So I went 9-5-1. Jackson went 1-9-7. Kaylie went 1-9-5. Jackson, correct me if I'm wrong, but the favorite is going to be the number 9 Goliad.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared for the question.
I don't know why you put your phone away. I don't know how you couldn't see that question coming.
Formidable Man is your 3-1 favorite, followed by King of Gosford at 7-2, and Goliad is 4-1.
Wow. Okay, so 4-1 on Goliad. I mean, I just thought this horse was going to be the controlling speed. Mike Smith knows how to ride speed horses. It's one of the few times I will trust him on turf. Going a mile is this horse's game. Obviously, swept through Kentucky Downs last fall, winning. Just I don't know what the purse winnings was from those two efforts, but it was probably around $1 million. And then just a mile is his game. He has no other real speed foes in here. I know there's some other horses with pace, like you have Cabo Spirit. But I think he's faster than them. I think with any intention, Mike Smith gets out of the gate, goes to the top, and I think that's just about all she wrote as far as that. And then Mandela off these 180-day breaks, he's 17% with a $5 plus ROI. So this is kind of his strength coming out of the Breeders' Cup Mile, where this one, led them about half, maybe 2/3 of the way, and then obviously gave way to better horses like More Than Looks, Johannes. Notable speech, but I thought this is a very logical comeback spot for a horse that doesn't have a whole lot of pace competition early. You both picked this horse in second. 4-1 is a decent price. I like hearing that. So, Jackson, I'll go to you first. What did you like about Goliad here to pick second?
No, his best effort is very, very good, and he's probably just going to wing it on the front end. And a lot of times it takes the starch out of these horses. They have to go a lot faster than they want to keep up. So his style is – I love watching his style of doing things. I mean, it's really fun to watch. I don't know if this is necessarily the big target for this horse. It is a grade 1, to be fair, so maybe it is what they've kind of been going for all along. But I prefer the other Mandela just a little bit more. But he's obviously very live if he's ready to go.
Kaylie, what about you on the number 9 Goliad?
Yeah, I preferred the other Mandela as well. I thought, this horse obviously draws really well, has the best speed, but I saw some other speed in here that could pressure him and potentially burn him out up on the front end. So I went with the number 1, just because I just don't see it being one up on the front end. But otherwise I would have this one on top, the number 9. So yeah, I think he'll be hanging around till the end, but I think that the 1 has a pretty good shot at catching him, but he does look pretty dangerous.
Real quick.
Yeah, keep on.
About Goliad. His 2 best races by far came at Kentucky Downs. I do think that is worth mentioning because that turf course doesn't necessarily always translate over here because he has faced top competition out here before and never really stacked up against him that well. So that is a legit question that he does have to answer in the spot, along with the
It is without a doubt. No, that's an excellent point for Goliad. But Kaylie, I'll let you continue on the other Mandela entry. He kind of has this race from both ends, if you will, with the number 1 SEAL team being the one that you want from off the pace.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I saw coming from off the pace, I saw a decent amount, or at least horses that like to be forwardly placed here, that I think this one should get a pretty nice setup. I know he's coming back off, a pretty short layoff, which really isn't a concern. I mean, he's handle going longer, should be pretty sharp, at least to, sit in a good position. But I think, is the late speed of the group and has been in good, consistent form recently before going on the bench. I mean, not that long of a layoff to not pick this one. Certainly going a mile is not a concern, but yeah, I think this one should be pretty dangerous. And I didn't see this being one up on the front end. So I landed on this one.
Yeah, I like it. El Patente, who this one lost to last time, was in just razor sharp form at the time for Dan Blacker out west. So that's a very reasonable loss. El Patente was the favorite in there. This one, I believe, was the second choice for SEAL Team. Jackson, you also picked this one on top. What did you like about this runner?
Yeah, I love this horse. This is my best opinion of the 5 races we've covered. I'm going to have a pretty nice win bet on him. He's 6-1. I would take that all day. I was hoping for like 4. So 6-1 is very nice to me. I think if you start picking apart his form, his last 3 races, he ran pretty well in all 3 of them. The Seabiscuit, he was he made the first move into the race. They were so stretched down that race, and he just mistimed it. I don't really think it was a jockey error. He just kind of had to go based on where he was placed in the race, and didn't work out. Maybe a little bit further than he wanted to. San Gabriel, kind of the same thing where Mi Hermano Ramon moved on his outside in the turn. You can't let that horse get in front of you. You're not going to catch him. So Pratt kind of had no choice but to go. And again, that race was a little bit further than he wanted to. He was a length and a half behind Johannes, who would be just massive favorite in this race. So that was good effort. And then last time he had another wide post, broke through the gate before the race, and El Patente just freaked. I don't know where that race came from. But no shame in running there. He's very clearly second best. And he's supposed to get a really good trip here, drawn inside, tactical to get good forward position, mid-pack trip. I mean, he checks a lot of boxes for me in a race where, some of these favorites I have some legit questions about. So I'm all in on Seal Team in this spot.
Yeah, that's fair. Certainly Seal Team looks to have the consistency angle and have really come into it now as a 5-year-old. So I'm with you. I picked this horse in third. We'll go out now to the number 7. Out went too far. Mi Hermano Ramon. Jackson, you picked this runner in third. What did you like about this one? I believe you said this is the morning line favorite.
No, he's 5-1, which I could not believe because he's on his best ever. He's very, very good. Don't really know what happened last time. He really had no excuse. He was just a complete no-show that day. So maybe the freshing does him some good. But again, if he goes back to his races from the winter, I mean, he should be right there. I just preferred others a little bit more.
I like it. Mi Hermano Ramon. Last time I'll credit that to just maybe the ship took a little bit out of him, and then we don't see him for a little over 2 months. So maybe it was a lot to ask and not a lot of time. So maybe that's enough to forgive it. And now comes in off a brief freshening, so that could certainly make the difference. I went with the number 5 Formidable Man, who is the morning line favorite. As we jump around, Mi Hermano Ramon and Formidable Man, I get them confused, and I think I'm never going to stop getting them confused. Kaylie, you have this one in third. I have this one in second. What did you like about this runner? Also coming in off of a victory in the Frank Kilroe Mile.
Yeah, I mean, this horse cut back to a mile, and you saw a huge improvement. 98 by her speed figure, won a grade 1, going that mile distance last time out at Santa Anita. This one looks to be pretty dangerous here. I think that this horse's best effort is pretty similar to the trip that, he's likely to sit. And I think that maybe this is a horse that probably needs a bit more pace to run into as well, which is potentially why he was cut back. I mean, if you look at, his running lines in the prior races, I think, this is pretty much this horse's game and looks pretty dangerous here. And I think obviously has, good enough speed to get into the mix, but I think is going to be likely to sit off of a couple in here and sit a pretty nice trip and finish up well with Rispoli aboard.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this horse is going to sit a really nice trip, and if the pace does come back, I think Formidable Man is the one who's kind of rounding into really good form off that Frankie Kilroe Mile. I'm not going to look at that as a kind of a 1-number horse. I'm going to look at that as that's a jump up to what to expect from him going forward. He loves the mile distance. He's kind of a miler on turf through and through when you look at a lot of his best races. So yeah, he's one I'm looking forward to seeing run back off that another, a brief, a little more than a 2-month break. But yeah, that McCarthy and Rispoli team are doing great things all around the country. So I look forward to them running back. I went 9.51. Jackson went 1.97. Kaylie went 1.95. That is the grade 1 Shoemaker Mile. All right. Those are all the races that we're talking about. Obviously no tickets because, I don't think they have a cross-country multi-day pick 5 with all the stakes races. But hey, Naira, Churchill, and Santa Anita, if you're listening, note those things down. That could be fun.
Yeah, Kaylie. Who do we need to talk to get a Del Mar Saratoga pick 4 implemented every single day? We need to make it happen.
Oh, Del Mar, Saratoga
pick 4, pick 5. We need this to happen. So they would handle. It would be huge every day. I don't know why this doesn't happen. Who do we need to talk to? Who do we need to call up at Naira? We got to call someone.
Jackson and I will be responsible for 50% of that handle.
It is a pretty good idea. Look what the coast to coast and cross country do every day. Now imagine the 2 biggest tracks, the 2 biggest meets of the entire year at the same time. It'd be huge.
You're not wrong.
It'd be great. So stay tuned. We're going to go talk to all the people that we can talk to see if we can make that happen before Del Mar and Saratoga. But all right, before we get out of here, Kaylie, I'll go to you first. What were your thoughts on this past weekend's Preakness Stakes? And and then obviously let's do a quick look ahead to the Belmont Stakes and the showdown that looks to be journalism versus sovereignty.
I mean, Preakness was such a great day. And certainly put me in such a good mood. I mean, in terms of just handicapping and wagering, but also, I mean, I forgot, I mean, that I even won, a pick six when that horse crossed the wire just because of how, I mean, exhilarating that race was. You rewatch it. I still cry when I rewatch that race. I don't, I mean, the way that horse fought through, not a lot of horses have that in them. He's such an amazing horse. I cannot wait to see him and Sovereignty rematch in the Belmont. I'm a little bit, out of the two, I'm leaning towards Sovereignty, which is pretty much not a shock. That horse is going to be really, really fresh. Belmont just is, sitting in his backyard in Saratoga with that horse for the last 5 weeks, working him on Saturdays. I mean, that horse is going to be, I think, he's going to end up being my pick in the Belmont. And certainly if there's not a lot of pace signed on, that makes him even more so my pick as well. But I think that we're so lucky to have not just such a great group of 3-year-olds, but two very special horses happen to be in the same crop in journalism and sovereignty.
No doubt. Two very special animals. Journalism has always kind of run his race, and Sovereignty just beat him. So that should show you what kind of horse Sovereignty is. But yeah, Journalism's win in the Preakness was phenomenal. To chase down a horse that was, 5 lengths clear just outside of the 16th pole, it takes a special animal to do that. Jackson, what were your thoughts? And Kaylie, you texted me yesterday that you were on a shopping spree after that pick six, which if you haven't paid attention to the Naira Bets X channel, you should probably do that and pay attention to Kaylie's picks, because she had the exacta in the Preakness. She gave out the pick six ticket on it was like a $57 ticket or something, came back over $2,000. So pay attention to her, because she's the sharpest person on this channel right now. But Jackson, what were your thoughts on the Preakness?
No, yeah, it was a damn impressive performance. Like Kaylie, I watched that replay a number of times Saturday night, and I haven't done that in a long time, and it was really impressive. Glad he won, and really, really excited for this showdown at Saratoga. Hoping he comes out healthy, because it'll be really good between those two. And even Baeza, out of those 3 horses, Baeza had the worst trip in the Derby, and it's not even close. Sovereignty and Journalism had clear sailing the whole way. Baeza had a little bit of trouble. He's still in the improve as well, so it's gonna be interesting. It seems like it's gonna be pretty short field this year for the Belmont, because not many horses are going to take on those 3. You have Hill Road, who's another deep closer, and who's the speed going to be? They say it's Rodriguez. Is that horse are we supposed to believe he's supposed to make it? I mean, he's scratched 2 races in a row now.
I think he's already out.
He could,
right? No, or is that Gosger? That's
Gosger's
Gosger.
out. Final Gambit is out.
Rodriguez, I think. I don't think it's looking like he's going to go.
Yeah, McAfee's already gone somewhere
else. We
else.
might have Journalism on the lead, there's so little speed.
Matthew and I did a video on, the pace dynamics today, just with the news of Gosger, and we were looking at who's working. I mean, Citizen Bull is at Churchill working. Okay. So I wouldn't be shocked if that horse shows up. And then who's the other one that the big one that I think is a really big point. I mean, Sovereignty, obviously Godolphin owns Sovereignty, and they also have East Avenue, and Gosker's not going anymore. Brendan Walsh horse, and East Avenue also trained by Brendan Walsh. Maybe, they send this one instead, and that ensures that there's some pace signed on, certainly for Sovereignty as well. So
and maybe Sheriff enters a rabbit again as well, like he did on the Santa Anita Derby. So
if we see Westwood come into the Belmont, that'd really be something. But hey, CRK and Peter Urton have had plenty of runners, so it's very possible they send another one up to the Belmont, if they feel like it. But the field's certainly coming together. We pretty much know the top 2, obviously, assuming Journalism's doing well. He's already up at Saratoga. So assuming it's all systems go, I think the plan looks to be to run him in the Belmont Stakes and all 3 legs of the Triple Crown. Obviously, Sovereignty coming in off the 5 weeks rest. And then Baeza, if he comes back in, he's kind of the horse that nobody really knows where his ceiling is yet. He just keeps getting better. He's obviously the full sibling or the half sibling to Dornoch and Mage, who each won a classic race. So maybe it's Baeza's turn in a couple weeks. But the Belmont Stakes Festival, Hill Road as well,
is an interesting one. I mean, not being talked about a ton. That horse has really never gotten pace. So if there's just a little bit more than he's had, I mean, and he switches his lead, I could see that one running pretty well as well.
The horse has never gotten pace, and he's going to get even less pace than he's ever seen in his entire life, based on who's supposed to run. That's crazy.
But he's going to be going the longest, so maybe he'll just have enough, because he keeps closing with these slow paces, and it's that's kind of that impressive angle to watch. But Sovereignty does it too. Journalism has done it, but given he's a little bit closer, so it's going to be fun to watch as this field comes together over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, the three of us, again, we're going to be on the Saturday show presented by Naira Bets, hosted on ABR's racing channel or social channels this Saturday, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm very excited for it. Kaylie, it'll be your first time getting to join with us. It's a ton of fun. All we do is talk horses, watch races, drink, have a good time. So obviously, if you're on the clock, maybe you don't drink, but I'll drink enough for everybody on the screen so we can have a good time.
Good, yeah. Because I'll have just a Celsius probably.
There we go. Yeah,
sponsor us.
There we go. You guys are sponsor us, Celsius. Yeah, that'd be great. I drink Celsius every day if that was the case. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching all of our shows. We always just go off the rails towards the end. It's the best part of this thing. Everybody, thank you for watching. Again, tune in on Saturday, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, as we are going to go through the racing day at Belmont at Aqueduct, Monmouth Park. Frank Scatoni is going to join us a little later on to go over and preview the late pick 4 from Santa Anita. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channels. We'll see you soon. Peace.